Now, you may remember about a year ago we reported on sewage spills in a Leicestershire village. People living in Donington le Heath near Colville reported brown froth and bad smells in the River Sence, which they blamed on thousands of new houses overloading the sewers in the area. Well, now Severn Trent Water has apologised and promised to make improvements to the system. Here's our environment correspondent Hugh Caswell.
Mary Lorimer bought this bit of land in Donington le Heath with plans to turn it into a nature reserve. The River Sence runs through it, but so does a lot of rather unpleasant waste.
I've been picking it up bit by bit as I find it. You can see that there's a whole lot of horrible wet wipes, sanitary towels, disgusting rubbish which has been wrapped round by trees scattered on the riverbank. I've had to disentangle it from new trees I've just planted. It's disgusting. And as you can see, it's really quite heavy. There's a lot of it.
To illustrate the problem, Mary took a bag of waste like this one to a meeting with Severn Trent and dumped it on the table in front of them.
The Severn Trent lady in charge got one of her sidekicks to carry the bag out and clean the table. And I said, yes, well, that's what I have to do all the time. I came down here to get away from things, to enjoy nature, to see the wildlife, which I'm trying to encourage. To see it spoilt and desecrated with litter and rubbish and disgusting sewage, it makes you want to cry. It's horrible.
Local residents say the sewers here have been overloaded as a result of the thousands of new homes that have been built in the area. Steve Palmer first drew our attention to the issue last year, and while there have been promises to improve the system, he's still concerned about the prospect of more houses.
There are thousands of houses to be built which are going to rely on this sewage system, and if it's over capacity now, I really can't imagine what the result is.
We're overloaded. We just haven't got the capacity to handle any more. And if you keep pouring developments in, building, the infrastructure is just not there.
Severn Trent has now accepted responsibility and said it's spending £12 million upgrading the system. The works, though, are due to take place over the next 5 years.
It certainly isn't good enough. Local people have had to deal with so many spills within their land or on their back gardens, and you can see it's not great for the environment either. So no, we want to push to get this done as quickly as possible.
Well, Hugh's with us now. I mean, it's pretty unpleasant to look at, isn't it? But is this a case of mystery solved now?
Well, when we originally reported on this last year, it was a bit of a whodunit. Some of those residents you heard from there were very frustrated that all different organisations were sort of seeming to point at one another. The District Council says it can't withhold planning approval for new homes on the basis of river pollution unless the water authorities raise objections. So it's a case of over to you, Severn Trent, which, as you heard in my report there, has now accepted some of the responsibility.
We know that we are part of the problem here, absolutely. We've got new houses that have been built. The sewers weren't designed to be capable of taking those extra flows. So we know we've got work to do. We've got a commitment to complete the work by 2030, and we will work as quickly as we can to get a solution in.
That time frame, though, 2030, 5 years away, by which time, in all likelihood, even more homes will have been built in the area. Is that really happening fast enough?
We're looking at future growth as well, so this scheme will accommodate all of that. We need to make sure that we get this right. I understand it's frustrating, but it takes us 12 months to do all of the right surveys to make sure we understand the volumes in the sewer at all points of year, particularly when it rains a lot. We haven't had a lot of rain this year.
So action hopefully from Severn Trent there, but is this happening in other areas where there are housing developments?
Yeah, well, this is just one example, but it maybe highlights a more fundamental flaw in our planning system. A water company is not a statutory consultee for any given planning application, so they can argue we're not responsible for the homes that are built, while the council can say, well, it's not up to us to make sure there's enough drainage. A bit of a grey area, maybe. So I asked the government about this. They say that as of last year, there is a duty now on sewerage companies to set out how they'll manage their wastewater systems over 25 years, and that should help them ensure there's enough capacity even when we're talking about new homes. How far that goes to solve this issue, though, I think will be measured in years and decades rather than months and weeks.